Hey, beautiful people. Listen, it is a gorgeous day here today, and the weather is really warm, so I decided to come outside and record this for you. And of course, with the warm weather, hence it's why I'm wearing the la camisa, pero en realidad es la camiseta. Pero vamos a empezar con la lección. Hoy, ay, ahorita. Hola a todos, me llamo Lauren o Lorena, depende del país hispanohablante, pero en inglés me llamo Lauren y estoy contenta de estar aquí con ustedes este día y vamos a empezar la lección de accent mark. Y'all seen me do this one or two times. I am outside, so give me a little grace, okay? So let's talk about these accent marks. First of all, what is an accent mark? Accent marks, you see them all the time in Spanish words, but most of the time we don't know what they are. They are it looks like a little dash here, there. There's an accent mark, okay? So, hold on. So why do I say that this accent mark can make and break a word in the Spanish language? Because it can. Okay, so how and why? Well, in Spanish, you have words that are identical. Like they are identical in the letters that they use, they are identical in the spelling. And the only thing that differentiates them is the accent mark. And so, because that is the case, it makes the accent mark essential. So, if there's ever been a time where you've seen a word in Spanish and you've decided that you wanted to ignore the accent mark if you were writing, or even if in pronunciation, we're going to stop that habit now because I promise you it is changing the dynamic for you in ways that you don't even realize. And we want to avoid that. We want you speaking authentically, pronouncing authentically in confidence these palabras en español. We definitely do not want to be in a business meeting and meaning to say one thing and then we end up saying another, right? We want to avoid that at all costs because that could literally cost us a very important deal that we've been working on. So we don't want that to happen. So, because of that, I'm making this video to share with you how to hit those accent marks, the differences in the pronunciation, helping you to pronounce those accent marks, and on top of that, helping you to identify some of the words and seeing the differences between the one without it and the one with it. Because I guarantee you've seen it. I know you've seen it. I know you've heard it. You've just either forgotten it or you never really paid it much attention because you didn't think it made a difference. But I am telling you, as an expert in the language, it matters, baby. So on the screen, you'll see a list of Spanish words that look exactly alike, but some of them have an accent mark and some of them do not. And I am going to run down for you how to pronounce those and what the meaning of the words are once those accent marks come into play. So you understand how serious this is. This is serious business, honey. The first set of words you see are TU and TU. Here's the pronunciation. Tu, tu. Our next set, el, el. El, el. Our next ones are como, como. Como, como. Okay. Next we have bebe, bebé. Bebe, bebé. Papa, papá. Papa, papá. Now these next three, they get a little tricky. So hang in here with me on these. Ejército, ejército, ejército. Give those to you again. Ejército, Ejercito. Ejercito. So, of course, we're going to dive into each one of these and which one is which and why. But I got y'all. You know I'll never leave you hanging. And just because I love you, of course, I'm going to get up on the camera and give you the deep rundown of pronunciation. You know how we do this. Con la profesora El. I'm trying out a new name. Y'all like that? So first we did tú versus tú. We did tú versus tú. So what's the difference? So tú is your, whereas tú is you. Gotta know that. You gotta know that. You gotta know how to emphasize that, right? And then we had él versus él. So one's a definite article and one's a pronoun. Él means the, whereas él means he. One is going to talk about a person, the other one is going to be a definite article. It's going to introduce something else. It's going to introduce a noun. It's going to introduce a proper noun. Then we have como versus como. Okay. Como is as, as. And then como is how. It's an interrogative word. It's starting off a question. So you can't confuse como with como. You cannot. It's so important. One's going to start off a question. It's an interrogative word. It's going to be something that's inquisitive. And the other one is not. So of course, then we have papa and papa. Papa is a potato. Papa is father, dad. It's actually dad, if you want to give an exact translation. So, I want to be sure we pronounce those properly, okay? You don't want to say dad, papa, and you mean papa, because then somebody's going to be looking like, you looking for your dad? In the potatoes? Over here in the potato section, in the produce area? I'm confused. Okay. So then we have bebe and bebe. Bebe is drink. If you want an exact translation, it's he or she drinks. Okay. It could also be you drink. That's a whole nother lesson we'll get into. But then you have bebe is going to be a baby. So you don't want to say bebe and you're literally trying to talk about a drink. And then there's the trifecta, right? Ejercito, ejercito, and ejercito. We got to break that down because you could really jack yourself up with these three. Okay, so ejercito is exercise. Ejército is army. Yes, as in a branch of the military. And then ejército is worked out. 3 different meanings, okay? So we want to make sure we are pronouncing these words properly with these accent marks because as I've already demonstrated to you, it will change the dynamic of the word and we don't want that. We want to make sure that our messages are properly conveyed in the manner in which we want them so that we don't, by any means, possibly insult somebody. So this part of the lesson is how we use them in a sentence, okay? Now, we're not going to do all of them, but I am going to do like a comparison type of deal for you so you can understand a little bit more effectively what I mean by making sure we pronounce those accent marks correctly, okay? So, here we go. First sentence. Él está al mercado. Él está al mercado. We want to say él está al mercado. Big difference. Él está al mercado versus él. Él está al mercado. Because then you're saying the is at the store. We want to say él está al mercado because now we're saying he is at the store. Let's try bebe and bebé. Tú eres un bebé. Because then we're saying you are a drink. We don't want to say that. We want to say tú eres un bebé. You are a baby. That's the right one. Let's try this next one. Let's try this one. Let's try papa and papá. Dame el papá. We want to say dame el papa. Why? Because the first one, dame el papá, is give me the daddy. Versus dame el papa, give me the potato. That's the one. That's the one we want to use, okay? And last but not least, let's talk about the trifecta. Okay? So let me think. What sentence do I want to give to you? Okay. I'm ready. El ejercito ayer. Because then we are saying he exercised yesterday. That's not what we want to say. We want to say él ejercitó ayer. He worked out yesterday. That's the right one. We also want to be careful and not say el ejército ayer. That's he army yesterday. We want to say el ejército. That's it. That's all there is to it. So now from now on, when you see those little accent marks, do not ignore them. And make sure that you put the emphasis that is needed for those accent marks in the places where you see it. That is key. That is critical. That is so important. That's how you use the accent mark. If you see the accent mark over the vowel, you have to put emphasis there. Just like I did with bebe versus bebe. I put that emphasis over the E because that accent mark is over the E. Bebe, no accent mark. Bebe, accent mark is over the E. Okay? Ejército, accent mark is over the second E. Ejército, accent mark is over the O. Ejército, no accent mark. Oh, and since I'm repping today, to all my sorors across el mundo.